Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I actually have two really interesting videos that I want to do today. This is the first of them. I really want to get into some of the stuff from that behind the scenes video teaser or whatever. I guess it wasn't behind the scenes, but it was like a look into whatever. I really want to talk about some of the scenes that were from there because that is really telling. Honestly, it tells us a lot about what's going to be happening here in part 3. And I mean, these final 8 episodes, again, like some of the promotion for this is going to be starting pretty soon. You know, like I don't know if they'll actually do anything this month, but in June, I do expect it to pick up a little bit. We're basically just kind of waiting for Fear the Walking Dead to end. And then once that ends, you know, it may be quiet for a little bit, but like we're getting very close to Comic-Con and like, yeah, in June, things are going to start to ramp up quite a bit. And then, yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about. I mean, just based off of this behind the scenes teaser here, there's already a lot to talk about. Like there's a lot to break down here. And the first thing that I want to talk about, and this is something that people have been sort of wanting me to talk about, but I guess I'll kind of get into it here a little bit. And that is, you know, are we going to see running zombies in part 3 here? And did this teaser already showcase some of that? And again, I'm going to be breaking down this teaser probably throughout the week. There's a lot of different things I want to talk about regarding this. I have a Rick video coming out after this, so stay tuned for that. And then I guess tomorrow and the next day and whatnot, I want to talk about Negan and his role at the Commonwealth and just his interactions with Sebastian and what they're likely going to be doing for their story. There's also all the chaos of the Commonwealth. There's a bunch of stuff happening there. And there's some stuff with Kelly and Connie that I do want to talk about. So again, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. There's going to be a lot to talk about all week long. And then this Sunday, we're actually going to be getting potentially Madisons Return. Again, this Sunday is episode 15. I don't know if we're going to see her in this episode. And it's kind of weird just because like they said originally that Madison's Return is going to play a bigger role in the story, you know, but it just kind of feels like so far, like we've already watched 14. So it's not like, I don't know, to me, they kind of made it seem like when she returned, it was going to be something really big, right? Like it was going to, she would be here for the last couple of episodes basically and really impact the story, but doesn't really seem like it. Like the Tower storyline is basically, it's come to an end. And we'll see where we go for episode 15 here. You know, Madison, I think, is likely to return at the very end of the episode. And then 16, I guess, is going to be a big Madison episode, which is just the last one. So did she make a big impact in this season? Not really. She just kind of showed up at the end. But I imagine for season 8, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, for sure, I think Fear the Walking Dead season 8 is automatically going to be better than 7 just because Madison's there. But does that mean the season's going to be amazing and it's not going to be insufferable to watch? No, like it can still be really bad. You know, I definitely am really questioning the direction of the overall franchise. I really felt like they had a direction in season 6. Like everything that they were doing sort of mattered. And now I'm just like, no, I think they've made that up on the fly. Like the whole nuke storyline was just really exciting. But for season 7, I feel like they just had no idea where to go. Because honestly, season 7, it hasn't been that fun to watch. It really has not been that fun to watch. And the first half was like, honestly, the first half is probably better than the second half. I thought the second half would pick it up quite a bit, but if anything, I think it's actually been a little worse. Anyways, we'll talk about Fear and all that this Sunday. I do think the last 2 episodes will at least be a little more decent because we're away from the Tower storyline. Things are actually moving forward and it's not going to feel as boring. And there's, you know what I mean? There's going to be a lot more to look forward to, but yeah, we'll talk about that later on this week and stuff as we build for episode 15 this Sunday. But let's actually get into this here. So we obviously see in that teaser that, you know, like we do see Carol and Lance together. And I don't know if this is completely related to, you know, to the running zombies, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit here because I think there's 2 storylines or 2 scenes here that could be related to it if they are going to be doing this. So first of all, we see Carol and Lance together. And remember, like this, first of all, why are they even together, right? Like we saw what Lance just did to everybody. We saw what Lance did to Daryl, to Maggie. And you know what I mean? Like he literally almost got all of them killed. So why is Carol with Lance? Why? And also Lance is like, he has blood on his face. He looks like a mess, right? Like why, right? Why is Carol with him? He's this big villain guy. It just kind of makes no sense, right? So I am questioning that part of the story. I don't completely understand it. Just based off of what I know from the characters, I'm just gonna, you know, go out and say that I think Carol is sort of playing Lance a little bit here. I think she knows that, you know, all like Daryl and all of them are in trouble right now. But I feel like she's like, you know what, I gotta play it smart though with this. I just have to act like I'm on his side, this and that, and then we'll go and discover some things, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. And it's even possible that maybe at this point that Pamela Milton has just sort of abandoned Lance, right? Like that is also a possibility because you got to remember too, like I'm trying to think of where they're going to go here with the story. Like where are they actually going to go here? And I'm trying to figure out a way to make Pamela Milton more useful here in the story instead of just being that politician that's like the face of everything that really isn't involved in the story at all. Well, what if when Connie published that newspaper, it basically only affected Lance? Because Pamela Milton, you know, at first she's going to freak out about it, but then she's just going to say, you know what, this was Lance. Lance did all this stuff. I had no idea. I apologize, whatever, this and that. And basically just throws him under the bus until he takes all the blame. I actually think that's a really strong possibility here. And so Lance, you know, we see him in a situation where he doesn't have as much power and in a sense maybe could almost be on our side in a way, but maybe he just wants to take down Pamela Milton, right? I think that's a possibility. I could actually see that happening here in part 3. And so maybe that's why we see Lance and Carol together here, because Lance knows something about Pamela and he's willing to show her some of that proof. I could see that being a possibility because somehow you have to make Pamela Milton, you know, be a part of this. And I think that at first, if that first thing comes out and, you know, she's dealing with that, this and that, I think it's easy to throw Lance under the bus. But if there's more stuff with like running zombies and more things that actually play a big role in the story, or some of that CRM stuff comes out, you know, with Connie and all that, I think that could be way more damaging where that actually really affects Pamela Milton. And, you know, now she can't hide behind Lance, basically, right? And so that's where things actually get really, really scary. And I mean, maybe, yeah, we'll have to wait and see from there, right? But I could see that being a possibility. Like, personally, I could actually see that happening. And so that's what I'm wondering. Like, is that why Lance and Carol are together here? Are they about to discover running or mutated zombies or something like that? There was actually a shot that I saw where, I mean, it could have been nothing. Like Carol just sort of took some sort of slime or something off of a walker. But it just, these walkers look different. And again, this might not mean anything because walkers look different all the time, right? Like every season, every half a season or whatever, every different part of a season, you know, they always have to have a unique walker. Like Greg Nicotero and his team are so amazing with that, right? Like they really want to make it feel fresh. And some of the walker designs that they come up with are just brilliant. They're genius, like really amazing stuff. If you're a horror fan, you like a lot of that stuff from the 80s, you know, they're still doing this stuff here on the show. Like they're still doing this type of stuff with the zombies here on this show. And that's why they're so iconic. That's why whenever you think of a zombie, you think of a walker from The Walking Dead. It's just, that's how popular that they've become, right? But there's also another storyline here too. And that is that there seems to be one with Aaron where Aaron is outside and I believe he could be with Jerry. I'm not entirely sure, but Aaron's out there. It's nighttime and he's actually dealing with a herd of zombies. And so maybe this is one of those times where he actually runs into a zombie, right? I think that's also really possible. And the only reason why I'm really bringing this up is because we know that this is the direction of the franchise. We know that this is where we're going eventually, right? We're going to be somewhere where running zombies is just sort of normal for us, right? And I don't want to say like running zombies. I use that a lot, and I guess what I should be saying is like mutated zombies, because they do run, but they do a lot more than run. Like they're very aggressive and stuff like that. Like we saw in that scene, right? Like they were a lot more vocal, right? They were actually loud. They were kind of screaming a little bit. So it's not only that they run, they're also a lot more aggressive and they're way louder. So it's just, yeah, they've mutated quite a bit and they're just faster in every way, basically. They're enhanced walkers, right? Like definitely way more enhanced. And so I'm only bringing this up because it seems like that's where we're going here. And then I remember Angela Kang, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but I know they asked her about it. And I don't remember her really shooting it down. She didn't confirm it either, but she didn't really shoot it down. And so I'm just wondering, you know, is it possible? Like, could we actually see some of this stuff here in part 3? Because I mean, considering it is the future of the franchise that we're going to be seeing that, like it kind of makes sense to introduce some of this stuff here. You think of that final scene, they talked about Ohio being a place where I think it was some tests were done, or it was like the origins of something or whatever. And I'm like, well, the Commonwealth is literally in Ohio. You know, you can kind of put the pieces together there. Like you can come up with something there. So that's kind of why I'm considering this. And I don't know if it's actually possible, but I do think it would be kind of cool to see. Honestly, I think it would be cool to introduce that here on The Walking Dead. Maybe make it something very small, because obviously you don't want that to be the big story here. Like, I don't see a possibility of, you know, at the very end, all of a sudden there's running zombies everywhere. Because, like, that would just be crazy, right? Like, what the hell? They literally just came out of nowhere. The way I see it is we're going to get some sort of explanation and see a couple of them, which is basically like a tease that, like, they are coming. Like, that's going to be the future. They're starting to integrate here with all the other walkers, and it's going to eventually be the dominant walker, right? So I'm really excited for that if it does happen. You know, I'm really hoping that we do see something like that very soon. And in terms of what episodes these are from, and I always kind of like this, like, give a prediction here. I don't think any of this is from 17. I don't think any of it's from 18, but I think probably like 19. Like, I'm going to say like 19 or 20. I feel like 17 is really going to be like, we're going to see a lot of protests and stuff. We're going to see some stuff with Daryl and them trying to get into the Commonwealth. And then I think 18, we'll see some more stuff with Negan being questioned, this and that. And I don't see him getting into any of this yet. But I think in 19 and 20, there's going to be some interesting stuff. And I think we're going to get into some of this stuff here, mixed with some of the Connie stuff and her going to that location, whatever. And then 21, there might be, again, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen within the episodes beforehand. You know, that will give us some more context as to what's going to happen in 21 or 22. And then it's going to be a lot of battling there. A lot of stuff's going to come out, sort of thing. 23, there's going to be some Rick stuff that comes out around there. 24, it's kind of the end, right? Like, there's a lot that they have to get through here, but because they are doing the spinoffs, it's not like they have to get into everything entirely, right? Like you want to for sure end the Walking Dead story. You want to give us some Rick stuff, at least in terms of like confirm that he's alive and having our characters know that. Maybe learning a location as to where he is and that they're going to go there, this and that. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here. So definitely post your thoughts down below. Like, do you think we're going to see the mutated walkers here in the final season? Or do you think we're going to have to wait for the spinoffs for that? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.